كي تتناقش مع واحد ولا واحد راه يقول حاجه اللي تقلقك ولا انتيا انسى هو ما تزعفش عليه هو ركز غير على هو واش راه يقول تنرفاش عليه.
One of the most important lessons a month of fasting teaches us is discipline. Waking up every single day and choosing to do something difficult or uncomfortable for a higher purpose. And if we do Ramadan right, it's a way of living that we can carry throughout every aspect of our lives. Welcome back to another vlog. I know I said that the red cheetah scarf was my favorite from this upcoming collection that we're dropping on Mishwara, but this green robe just eats down too bad. My most worn colors are green and brown. Kind of designed this one for me. I'm really just obsessed with this one. Like, the purple one is pretty, but I don't wear purple as often as I wear green and brown. We've got one more week until Ramadan, so I'm really trying to make the most out of this week. I've been prepping for Ramadan these past couple weeks, so I really just want to ramp up the good habits and kind of start to transition myself into my Ramadan schedule, so I'm not thrown off on day one. Ramadan is so early this year. I actually can't believe this is the first Ramadan where we're actually getting a portion of Ramadan before daylight savings. I swear, day one is going to be so light work. I have a fun weekend planned. Tomorrow I'm going to USC because the Digital Sisterhood is coming to USC for a talk. I'm so excited. I got tickets. Alhamdulillah, I got tickets before they sold out. I'm so excited for this. The MSU at USC really did their big one with this. I'm gonna spend the day with my sister, so I'll probably pick her up. We're gonna go to on campus at UCLA and then probably do some work like at a cafe in K-Town before we go to the event. The event is at 5. So tomorrow's gonna be an LA day. I'm gonna really try and bring you guys along. I'm really bad at vlogging in public, but I'm not gonna gatekeep this one. Other than that, I really want to do a closet clean out this weekend. My sister and I are probably gonna do some thrifting on Saturday or Sunday. I've been meaning to do a closet clean out for a minute, and I have a couple pieces coming in the mail. I figured it's probably best if I clear out my closet, organize things. Things are just getting very disorganized. I have a toxic trait where I don't like to get rid of stuff until I have clothes to replace it. So even though I know there are certain pieces in my closet that I'm not really wearing anymore, I'll hold on to it until I have something to replace it. But honestly, I want to do a really aggressive closet clean out this time, because I swear I'll do a little closet clean out and then 3 months later, my closet is just chaotic again. I need to study, I need to get gas, and I need to stop at the store, and it's already 5. Plus I have a whole host of things that I need to do at home. I really can't with daylight savings. I cannot wait for the time to change again. I think this will actually be my last straw. Me asking myself if I left the keys inside while the keys are in the ignition. Anyways, let's go.
Is it better to speak or to die?
الله كريم، الله كريم، حبك يكون هم القديم وجرح القديم، والله عليم. يحلى العيون أن الفراق جزى الفراق، أبى أوعدك كان الطريق بيبعدك، أبى أمشي الطريق، وكان الجحود بيسعدك، ما لي رفيق.
When I was flying here, I kept thinking, oh my goodness, I've been to LA once before. Actually, the sisters that I met in LA, the first time I was here, are actually here. Everybody that I meet, I end up just taking with me. And so hopefully, inshallah, the next time I come again, we'll be all good friends. You know, they say that, so there's some opinions that say that you can lie, right? To mend people together. So somebody could say, you know the girl you're beefing with, yeah, she said you have really nice hair. I say, well, like, yo, that's crazy.
I actually cannot believe that we met Adar from the Digital Sisterhood. Last night's event was honestly so amazing. She is quite literally the same in person as she is in her podcast. She's also just so incredibly funny, so humble, so kind. It was kind of a interview panel style, but it was really informal. It was also a blend between like an interview and a town hall, because she would ask us questions and a lot of people just were talking about their experiences. A lot of the conversations just focused on the themes of sisterhood and cultivating community, what it really truly means to be sisters in Islam. And I think it was such an important conversation, especially right before Ramadan, because this is a time where we really do have to step up and be there for each other as a community. It was hosted by USC's MSA, and a couple other people from different schools and different MSAs came, and so a lot of people were talking about their experiences with inclusion and exclusion in different Muslim orgs on campuses. A lot of the barriers and the things that people kind of experience in terms of finding community as Muslims is just like racial and ethnic divisions, anti-blackness within Muslim communities, barriers in terms of being a transfer student and transfer students not feeling as welcome, just the cliquey nature that can just honestly happen in different spaces, both on campus and also at masjids. And so a lot of the conversation was really centered around like, how can we be there for each other and be a true ummah? It made me reflect a lot about, you know, the way that I navigate Muslim spaces, the way that I show up in Muslim spaces. It was definitely such an important reminder. One of the things that she said that really stuck with me is like, there should never be a closed circle in a masjid. You should always say salams to people. You should always greet people when they come into the masjid. She really went into a lot of the rights that you owe other Muslims as brothers and sisters in Islam. And one of the rights quite literally being you have to say salams back to someone if they say salams to you, which this is an epidemic. I don't know what's going on, but recently I've noticed that sometimes like when I'll run into other hijabis or other Muslim women in public, every once in a while, like I'll say salams and they won't say it back, which is so crazy to me. I didn't even realize that it's quite literally a right outlined in Islam. The conversation really got me thinking a lot about just looking into that, because I feel like it's an aspect of Islam that we don't think about or talk about. Community is so important in Islam, and I feel like especially living in the West and living in a non-Muslim country, when we're struggling with our faith or trying to discover our own relationship with Islam, it's like we learn from the characters of other people. We learn from experiences in masjids and new relationships and new friendships. And so having that sense of community is so important. This is gonna be my first Ramadan back in Orange County in a minute. And so I'm really excited to not only like take advantage and really make the most out of Ramadan spiritually, but also try and expand my network and make new friends, try out going to new masjids and hopefully meeting new people. It was honestly a fun night because a lot of my friends drove up from like San Diego, the IE, all of that, so it was really fun. One of my friends helped organize the event and she did such a beautiful job moderating, so it was a really fun time, and I feel like just the best way to spend the last Jummah before Ramadan. Today though, my sisters and I went binning. Tadima's is the nicest out of all of ours.
I actually do like the black girl.
I saw that. I thought that was really cute. I told Tadima to get it.
You want it?
I think it's a good layering piece. It literally looks so good. I've never been binning before. Usually my sisters and I will just go thrifting. One of my sisters has been binning I think once or twice. She quite literally told us we had to wake up at the crack of dawn this morning to get there early and get in line. They opened at 9 and they had a little bit of a line, but the line surprisingly wasn't too long. The culture of binning is definitely different from like location to location, but at the location we went to, quite literally as soon as they let us in, it's like people immediately start running in with their gloves on, with their headphones on. People were serious and were like immediately sorting. I feel like my experience binning for the first time was really great. I'm not the biggest fan of thrifting. I really love the concept of it. My issue with a lot of thrift stores, at least in Southern California, is I feel like they can be very overpriced, especially if you're going to like more curated vintage stores or going to flea markets. And I really saw that today because binning is probably like the most affordable form of thrifting that you possibly can do. And a lot of these more curated thrift stores or flea markets quite literally go to the Goodwill bins, get these pieces for so cheap, and then resell them for like 5 to 10 times the price. When you're going Goodwill binning, the difference between going to like a Goodwill store and going to the bins is like you are paying by the pound. So our rate was like $3 and something cents per pound. I got this whole bag of clothes for $20, which is crazy. I feel like it's hard to thrift as a hijabi. Like it's really hard to find like more modest pieces a lot of the times, especially at the ones that are more curated. Like they'll have really cute pieces. I'll just be flicking through the racks and it's like nothing I can wear. But I feel like with this, it was really nice, especially because it's the winter. So they had a lot more like jackets and sweaters and things. These are going straight to the laundry and we're double washing these. The first piece is this like button-up shirt. It's like blue and white pinstripes, But what's really nice about it is it has this like white layered button-up shirt sewn to it. So it's like a button-up shirt, button-down shirt with the white collar shirt underneath, so it looks like you're like layering different shirts together. And it has a little bit more of like a cinched silhouette, which a lot of my button-ups I'll get from Salvation Army, and they'll be like men's button-ups, so they'll have more of like a male silhouette to them, but it's just not the most flattering. I feel like that would be really cute like with some jeans. I really do like button-downs, especially in the summer. Like they're just an easy staple. I got a windbreaker jacket. They had such nice jackets. My sister got this vintage black bomber leather jacket that literally looked like you would buy it for like $80 at a vintage thrift store, and she paid less than 20 bucks for everything including the jacket, so prices were good. This jacket my other sister actually found, and I convinced her to give it to me at the end, but it's this navy blue and white vintage looking windbreaker jacket. It's actually a golf jacket technically. I don't know where this is from, but it says Collar Glen on the sides. It's like embroidered. It's navy blue, white. I feel like this will be good for any colder weather, anytime it's raining. I found this American Eagle red jacket. I'm not huge on red, but this year red has been my color. Like I've been really getting into wearing red, especially with this new Mishwara scarf. Red has definitely been my color, so I thought this jacket could be cute. It's like a zip up jacket, oversized. It's in an XL, and I love a good jacket. I feel like it's also just really practical. I was really trying to be as practical as possible, even though a lot of this stuff was affordable. I really don't want to be clogging my closet with pieces that are just gonna be like trendy pieces. We found this vintage Gap sweater as well. It's like navy blue, and the outline of it is chocolate brown. I just love that color combo. I feel like this is also really practical. Okay, this next knit sweater is so cute and so like ballerina core, but it's this pink knit crisscross cardigan, and it has balloon sleeves as well. Like this would be so cute to layer with like a white long sleeve underneath, and I love that shade of baby pink. I found this really thick, high quality forest green t-shirt for in the house. When I'm in the house, all I'm wearing is t-shirts and sweatpants. Then I found this really cute pink top that my sisters were clowning me for, but hear me out. Hear me out. I feel like, yes, this is a very vibrant shade of pink, but I feel like I've been getting into a lot of color. Also, this top is a little bit looser. It's gonna have a little bit more of a looser fit, which I appreciate. Probably wear like some kind of shirt underneath because it has a v-neck, and then most likely drape my hijab in the front so it covers like the bedazzle, because I don't know how I feel about the bedazzle. I'm not the biggest fan of them. They're not like super in your face, but I also just like the sleeves are very wide on these, or just like a slightly wider, and it's like a really nice quality cotton material. So I feel like this would be really, really cute. I want to play around with color a lot more this year. Last but not least, this was the prize, okay? This was truly the most shocking find at the Goodwill bins. For context, I have been obsessed with trench coats like since last fall. I almost got a trench coat last fall, and then I almost got one this fall / winter season. Something told me to wait. I don't know why. And quite literally this week, my friend texted me that Old Navy has the mini trench coat jackets, which are so cute, and they're on sale. Hopefully they're on sale by the time you guys see this, but I'll link it down below in the description box if you guys want to shop. And it was like $40, which I thought was like pretty good for a trench coat. I really like that it was not the ones that are full length, just because I live in Southern California, so it's not like I need like that full length trench coat vibe, but I more so just like wanted a trench coat for like the style. I feel like it's a very classy piece, and even though it's coming back in trend, it's one of those trends that's like timeless. Like it's gonna come back in style every once in a while. I was quite literally this close to buying it 2 nights ago. Something in me told me to wait, and guess what I find at the Goodwill bins? The Old Navy khaki trench coat. Now this one is like the longer version. It's not like the fully floor length version. It's actually like kind of like a mid-size length. Like I think this would come down to your knees, so it's kind of a little bit of a mid-size length, but honestly I feel like it's cute. It has like the buttons and everything in the front pockets. This is exactly what I've been wanting, in the exact color and everything. And it was just crazy the way I literally lifted this pile of clothes and it was just sitting there right at the bottom. So subhanallah, things really do work out, especially when you have patience. My first experience at the bins was amazing. I feel like I had a great time. I found so many great finds, and I'm just not used to this when I go thrifting, because a lot of the time I'm just sifting and sifting and sifting through clothes, and I come out with like maybe 1 or 2 things. It was also just so affordable. My total for all of this was quite literally $23. My headphones died while I was binning too, and I was really thinking about it because I saw like 4 or 5 pieces from Shein, and it actually made me happy to see those pieces in the bins, because at this point, like, they've been bought, right? Like, the money has been given to the corporations, but at least instead of ending up in a waste bin, they're being upcycled or recycled, and hopefully will end up in someone's closet. Thrifting is just one of those things where, like, yes, it's definitely a privilege to have to choose to thrift rather than forced to thrift, but I think it's one of those trends that's really beneficial because the fashion industry is getting so out of hand and there's just so much wastage and overconsumption. I'm just happy that those are finding a new home, finding a new wardrobe, rather than being wasted and really just damaging a lot of our environment. Overconsumption is definitely something that I'm trying to work on a lot this year, particularly with fashion, really analyzing my spending habits in terms of clothes and shoes and everything. I definitely want to integrate more thrifting as much as possible because I do feel like it does make at least a small difference. To the doctor's office because I thought I had an early doctor's appointment. Turns out I put it in my calendar wrong and it's actually next month, which is just lovely. I finished reading The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna and I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. This one also won the Goodreads Choice Award winner in 2018. It's actually so crazy how she just had back-to-back wins. The 4 wins, The Great Alone, The Nightingale, and The Women. This one took place in the 1970s in Alaska, and I feel like Kristen Hanna does such a great job at writing about settings and places that normally I would never think to pick up a book about it, and she makes it so interesting. Never in my life have I ever once considered or even craved going to Alaska, but I was reading and I was like, wait, it would be kind of nice to go to Alaska. She made Alaska just seem so beautiful, a retreat from the world. One thing Kristen Hanna likes to do is write about the cold. It was really an atmospheric read. Trigger warning on this one for domestic abuse. This one was really beautifully written. I loved the story, the themes, the characters. I organized my closet the other day and genuinely it is the best feeling after you organize your closet. I even reorganized my hijabs by color. I had a little bit of extra shelf space at the top, so I organized all of my print scarves by color. We'll see how long this lasts. I'm gonna really try and be disciplined with myself whenever I'm wearing a scarf that I actually put it in the correct spot, because it is just so helpful to see everything in one spot. My closet is just one of those things where it'll get out of hand and I just need to remind myself to reorganize it like every couple months. I got the browns, the greens, the blues, the reds and the pinks, and then some purples, and then I've got my pashminas and my kufiya in the corner. But that way I can see everything in front of me when I'm picking out my outfit. And then I like to keep all of my plain hijabs on my little hangers. I have these like hangers from Amazon that have the multiple rungs that go in your closet. Really convenient. I used to keep all of my hijabs on there. I just had way too many and I wasn't able to see everything that I have. So now I kind of separated them by plain and prints, so it's a lot easier to see. I can link the thing that I use to organize my plain scarves in the description box. I also saw a comment on my last vlog asking if I could film a hijab collection video, and I would love to do it. It's definitely going to be a lot of work because I've amassed way too many hijabs, but I feel like it would be fun to do like a try-on style hijab collection video. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in. ever since I realized I've been severely undereating protein and need a lot more protein in my diet. Eggs have been my breakfast fixation. I went through a phase where I was eating them fried, but recently I've been really liking scrambled eggs with some milk and cheese to make them extra fluffy. And as soon as I started incorporating more protein, especially for breakfast, I noticed that I wasn't getting as hungry throughout the day. The timing definitely sucks with the egg shortage, but I feel like eggs are gonna be my xoxo fixation this moment. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. I'm genuinely struggling to stay awake. Genuinely, I wholeheartedly believe this is such a great book to read during the month of Ramadan alongside the Quran, because I really feel like it gives so many practical ways to reframe your thinking about Islam to be something that is intuitive and individual to you. It really forces you to see Islam not as something that you passively practice, but something that you actively choose to practice every single day and that you're actively learning to get better at. I'm on the chapter about the Quran. This is page 87. It says, when the Prophet ﷺ was asked why the Quran did not unveil itself all at once, the Quran replies by saying, so that we may strengthen your heart. 25:32. Just as climbers take time to acclimate to the increasing altitude of higher peaks, or scuba divers must equalize to the increasing water pressure as they descend deeper into the ocean's depth, the human heart requires time to integrate revelation before delving deeper into the message. And I feel like this is such an important lesson for so many people, especially if you feel like you have a long ways to go with your journey of Islam, or you're just learning things for the first time. Do not compare yourself to other people. There is a reason it took so long for the Quran to be revealed, and it was revealed gradually. We're supposed to learn and read from the Quran over time and integrate it slowly in our lives as we're learning new things in Islam. It can be said that the silence or space between revelation was part of the revelation, because without that silence, we would not be able to integrate the message fully. Just as the space between words give a sentence meaning, or the silence between notes create rhythm, God is telling us that even in the silence, His mercy is present. Just wow, this book is truly so incredible. I'm listening to it on audio. I really like the audiobook because it's narrated by a halwa herself, but I think I'm gonna start actually following along, because I started annotating it the first time that I read it through, and I want to continue doing that and highlighting passages that I want to look back on in the future.